Let's say someone is filling this form which we created in our previous videos. So in the username text box, he writes his name. Then in the password box, he writes a password. Then he selects his gender, his hobbies, his qualification, his country, and writes his biodata. And before submitting, he thought that he should first enter the details of his brother. So he have to rewrite this form. So he have to delete this data. He have to uncheck these boxes. He has to clear this text box manually. But we can create a button where the user can click and every field will be in its default condition. So we can build a reset button for this. So after this form and the submit button, I'm gonna create a button for resetting this form. So we can create a reset button in two ways. One is using the button tag, and another one is we can create a reset button with the input tag. So if I write input and give here type attribute, and the value would be reset. If I save the file, you can see the button with the text reset. I want to change the value of the button or the text of the button. For that, I'm gonna write the value attribute, and in between the double quotation, I'm gonna write reset in capital letters. Save the file. You can see now the button has different text. So now if someone fills the form, give a password, mail, singing, country, some biodata, and if he changes his mind and click on this reset button, you can see the values are cleared. So the value of this text box is empty, the value of this password box is empty. So why is this text boxes got empty? Because you can see that in our form, in the username text box, we gave the value attribute, and here we put this empty, and in the password box also we put the double quotation empty in the value attribute, and in the radio buttons we give the default checked value which is female, and in the checkboxes we checked the playing checkbox. It has a name which is user hobby, and in the select tag which has the name user qual, the MSC field is selected, and in the country's data list which has the name country, it has no value selected. In the bio it has no value given, so the value attribute here is empty. So whenever user clicks on this reset button, it will go to its default state, means what value we gave while writing the code. So if I select this PhD singing and click on this reset button, you can see the PhD turn into MSc and the singing checkbox got unchecked. So by this reset button, you can reset forms. So we saw how submit button works, how the image button works, and the reset button works. But these three type of buttons are related to forms. But let's say you want to create a normal button which does nothing, and you want to execute some JavaScript function by clicking on that button. For that, you can create a normal button outside of a form wherever you want in two ways. So the first way is using the input tag, and here you have to write the type attribute, and the value would be button, and you can write the value attribute, and here you have to give the text which will be displayed on the button. So I'm gonna write button, save the file. You can see there is another button. If you click on this, nothing happens. It does not submit or reset the form. You can access this button in JavaScript and execute function when user clicks on this button. You can create normal button using the button tag also. So you have to write the button tag, and here let's write button, and the button type would be button. If you write that, even if you click on this button, this will do nothing. But if you click on the submit button or the reset button, those will do something. So those are related to forms. If you click on the submit button, it will submit the form. If you click on the reset button, it will reset the form. And these buttons are not related to form. These are just for accessing in JavaScript and doing some function execution on the basis of user clicks.